Alright guys, what's up? Welcome back to the house in Fata Morgana. I want to thank you all once more for the love and support you continue to show this series. Always appreciate it, guys. Always. I gotta tell you guys, we're on part 51 right now. Can you believe that? Like 51 parts. And even if we're not, I don't even know if we're even close to the end yet. I feel like we are. But for all we know, we still have more to go. Because guess what? Even after we finish this story, the main story, we still got Requiem for Innocence, which I believe is the prequel. And of course, Reincarnation, which supposedly takes place in the present time era. So, there's still that to come. So for anything else, guys, we're going to continue on from where we last left off. So I hope you all continue to enjoy watching. This is going to be fun. Alright guys, and we're back. From that day on, Morgana's voice became a constant fixture in my life. Curse them, kill them, curse them, she serenaded directly into my ear. No matter where I hit or how deep I put my fingers in my ears, her voice resounded directly in my head. Hearing an incessant stream of curses from a disembodied voice was so unreal, so unbelievable that I felt as though I was being dragged away from the realm of humanity. I should have just stuck with reality, same thing I guess. There was an odd unsettling magnetism in her voice, allowing her malevolence to seep into me. It was downright torturous. Curse them. Revile them. Do you really need to be in your right mind, honestly? Your fixation on holding onto your sanity is what's causing you so much anguish. Admit it. There's more darkness, more seething malice inside you than anyone else. That's why you were the one who resurrected me. Admit it. You do want to curse them, don't you? You do want to kill them, don't you? No, I don't. I don't want that at all. I've told you this already. You're so desperate to deny it, Mikkel. It can only mean that it's true. You would be able to maintain your calm if you were truly free of guilt. I do not wish to kill Didier, or Georges, or Mother, or Father. I have no desire whatsoever to see them dead. Your constant babbling is messing with my head. Be honest with yourself, Mikkel. You do imagine what it would be like to hold their warm intestines on your hands, standing over their bodies. No, I don't. That's not what I want. Don't lie, Mikkel. You climbed a tower. You opened the door. You sought me. No. I wasn't in control. No, Mikkel. You were. Enough! I'm done listening to you. Now, don't take your anger out on inanimate objects, Mikkel. Do you even know where I am? Where are you? I'm standing behind you. In front of you. Now, I'm beside you. You're just playing around with me, Morgana, mocking me for your own amusement. Not at all, my dear. In fact, I consider you a close friend. Why would I mock someone who means so much to me? We are not close. You will come to understand in time that we are very much the same. And when you do, you will also know that I am the one person who truly understands you. Enough. Enough! Enough! Let it all go, Mikkel. Curse it all with me. Despise it. Kill it. Make it suffer. Curse it. Please, just stop. And where might you be going, Mikkel? Wherever you run, I will always be by your side. Are you going to pray to God to exorcise me? Now that's quite amusing considering I am the child of... I'm not trying to hurt you, Mikkel. On the contrary. Stop talking, please. Just stop. I want to set you free from your misery. I can't take it anymore. Please, just be quiet. Who's there? I am here to deliver your monthly package. I see. Michelle? Is something the matter? I opened the door, and there stood a servant of the Bollinger estate. He seemed to be quite perturbed by the sight of me. I must have looked terrible. Morgana's voice, her words, sapped my spirit dry. A human. A normal person. Not a witch or a spirit or a demon. I knew good and well that the servant would never do anything to help me. He wouldn't believe a word I said, but at that point, his humanity was enough for me to latch onto. Help me, please. Pardon? The witch. She talks to me. She never stops talking. I'm begging you, please get me out of here. Let me go back home in your carriage. But please, let me go back. The witch's voice. It's killing me. It won't go away. I can't escape it. Please, I need your help. You've gone mad. What? You're crazy. See, this is why I didn't want this job. Having to deliver supplies to this damn cursed mansion. Having to get anywhere near the Bollinger's youngest child. No, I'm perfectly sane. You sold your soul to the devil. Don't think I'm in the dark about that. No, I didn't know such thing. You're completely insane. No. I'm done with this damn job. It's not worth all the riches in the world. Not if it means I have to be around a lunatic like you for even a minute. Why? I'm not crazy. I'm perfectly sane. I'm not mad. Mikhail, your mind is far, far from sound. I won't hear it. I am not mad, damn it. I'm not insane. I won't hear it. The witch spent nearly every waking moment of every day at my side, talking and talking and talking about how mean-spirited humans were, how ugly they were, an endless loop of vitriol, and she never seemed to tire of it either. Every single day, on and on and on. She also made a point of reminding me about myself, everything I was trying to get away from. But as much as I fought to ignore her, to not let the things she said in, she slipped past every wall I put up, her every word warping me. There was no escape. Curse them. Revile them. Remember the things they did to you. Close your eyes and envision it. Remember the scorn in their eyes, the way their lips twisted as they laughed. You need only curse them, and you can wipe those reprehensible smirks out of existence. I'm serious. Please stop this, Morgana. Please stop talking to me. I'm begging you. I seriously can't take it anymore. Oh, now why would you say that, my dear? It's just the two of us in this gloomy old house. I don't see what's wrong with a little conversation. Your voice, everything you say, is eating away at me. I care for you, and everything I say is meant to help set you free. So I will continue saying it. You're allowed to hate the people who have wronged you. They don't deserve happiness. Someone who's always smiling for you is someone who's certain to betray you. Someone who values themselves above all will not hesitate to put others' lives on the line. Someone who covets wealth with power will sacrifice his friends and family to obtain it. These are the kinds of people you once surrounded yourself with. I have told you repeatedly that I will not curse anyone. Why must you be so stubborn, my dear? I could ask you the same. Why won't you just leave me be? Because I can't stand to see you like this. With one word, you could be free of your pain. But because you insist on shackling yourself to your idea of family, you're making yourself miserable. We are the same type of person, Mikhail. The type who has the right to curse others. Regardless of what kind of childhood you had or how much hatred it instilled in you, Mikhail, you are a cursed man named after an angel. You need to realize how twisted you are. And soon. I am not twisted. Do you honestly still believe you're normal? Tell me, what's normal about someone who happily embraces a skeleton? Tell me, what's normal about someone who hacks away at a girl's face with a knife? You are not normal, and I will repeat it as many times as I have to. You need to accept that. Why must you hold so tight to your sanity? If you would just let go, you wouldn't have to suffer. No one is gonna come and save you, my dear. The only thing that can save you anymore is your loathing. We are the same. I am nothing like you. I am not a witch. I am not cursed. I'm human. I'm a human. Man? Yes, a man. With that body? Oh, my dear friend. Let me tell you something you should be quite pleased to hear. Do you know what some say about people like you, those who are neither male nor female? That they are like unto God. Like unto God? Indeed. You should have been worshipped for your divinity, but instead your family cursed you. You are not human. From the second life was first breathed into you, your fate was decided. No, you're wrong. If I really were wrong, you would not be here now. You'd be back at home with your family. Perhaps you would have had a pretty little wife, living a normal happy life together. But you have a long since strayed from that path. It's well out of sight now. I have not. I am human. I'm a person. A normal person, the youngest son of the Bollinger estate. I am an ordinary man. No one, not a single person believed me. Not even the witch was willing to consider me human, never mind my family. The archangel whose name I shared looked down on me. The witch tried to drag me into her world. My past constantly ate away at me. I had been imprisoned in this place for far too long. There was nothing I could do about my body. All of those things combined threatened to break me. I let out a scream, then stumbled out of the room in a frenzy. I had to get out of that place. It didn't matter anymore that I was forbidden from leaving the property. I just wanted all of it out of sight. If they wouldn't let me come home, then I would run away. It was all I could do. I wanted to get myself anywhere that might have even the tiniest bit of light to share with me. I was desperate. Someone, anyone, please, tell me I'm human. Tell me I'm a man. Anyone, please tell me I'm not cursed. But when I opened the front door, searing light pierced my eyes. The world quickly went white. I couldn't see a thing, and then... My arm began to burn beneath the sunlight. Black smoke rose from the sizzling flesh. A sickening stench filled the air. Why is it like he's a vampire? He's not. Excruciating pain quickly spread to the rest of my body. Why am I... Water! I slammed the door shut, restoring darkness. Gasping and groaning, I trudged back into the house in search of water, which I'm sure the witch Morgana observed with a great deal of pity. I don't think you're in any need of water. Take another look at yourself. With what little light managed to worm its way into the corridors to guide me, I dragged myself to the chapel, stopping beneath the pale light shining through the stained glass window. How? I wasn't burned. In fact, my skin hadn't even turned the slightest bit pink. There was nothing wrong with me as far as I could see. Where had that pain come from then? And the distinct stench of burning flesh. This is your doing, isn't it, Morgana? I know what you're experiencing. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the wrong voice. I know what you're experiencing. It's happened to me too. Sometimes enough emotional distress and despair can cause physical pain. That doesn't make sense, at least in terms of sunlight hurting you, unless your skin is allergic to it or sensitive, which kinda it was. But I think it was heightened even further though. The mind and body are much more tightly linked than you think, and your mind is far more damaged than you know. You poor, poor thing. You have my sympathy, my dear. You sad little child. Collapsed on the floor in front of the multicolored window, I felt like the whole world was closing in on me. Or perhaps, metamorphosing around me. I was completely and utterly cornered, and there was no getting around that, which left me with only one option. to stop fighting and accept the harsh reality before me. It would make everything so much easier. The whole world said there was something wrong with me, and I was the only one who tried to deny it. So in the world's eyes, that meant there was something wrong with me. I was abnormal. I was irregular. I was mad. I was cursed. I was not human. I was not a man. If I'm not human or male, maybe I should just call myself a witch. I did, however, remain firm in my refusal to curse anyone, unwilling to give up that last piece of my humanity. Everything else I let go of, which took a great deal of weight off me. I stopped caring, and I stopped thinking. I stopped wanting someone to accept me, and I stopped wanting to run away. Sunlight no longer caused me agonizing, unseen burns, but in exchange, I became emotionally empty. I discarded my faith and my hope, building a shell of cynicism and closing myself within it. And in time, that became my normal. I began to believe it was what I wanted. Tranquility filled my days. Time trudged onward at an almost imperceptible pace. The witch's whispers no longer caused me aggravation. I feel so bad for the guy, man. The witch really messed with him, like, constantly. Like, he was already emotionally wounded, and then all this bombardment just destroyed him, man. Like, the most respectable thing about him still is the fact that he kept a shred of humanity left, just because it's his only attachment he has left that he wants to hold on to so desperately. Essentially, nothing of note happened over the next 2 years. At one point, a man with an unusual disease stumbled across the mansion while wandering through the forest. But there's little more to be said about that, for nothing at all could have convinced me to care about someone else. I spent much of my time sitting before the fireplace. I had covered the stained glass window with drapes, loath to even think about that damned archangel. Staring at the dancing flames, I was able to forget the passage of time. Watching, unblinking, as the red and orange tongues flicked back and forth. They seemed to spread outward from the fireplace, consuming me. Whether by the raging infernos of hell or the cleansing fires of purgatory, the thought of being swallowed up and burned to ashes by a massive conflagration was quite pleasant, but those visions never became reality. Tell me, Mikkel, what are you thinking right now? Do you still not want to curse them? Look at yourself, Mikkel. Look at how you're living. Do you really want this life? Have you ever thought about dying? Mikkel, would you like to die? That's the right answer. God has said that taking one's own life is a sin after all. That's good, Mikkel. You've made the right decision. And I shall be there with you until the very end, my dear friend. Honestly, a part of me did desire death. I just didn't have enough energy to take my own life. My mind and spirit were too far decayed. However, in my 10th year, the door opened once more, and time sputtered back into motion when you showed up. Giselle. Everything I had given up on, and everything I had thought I'd lost, it all came back. At first, as you know quite well, I was deeply mistrustful of you. I hated having you around, but if I hadn't met you, in all likelihood, I probably would have continued down that path and become a demon. But you seem to me like a rather handsome man. I think I get what you're trying to say, but my mental image of a witch is definitely more a woman. So you're not a witch. To tell you the truth, I didn't know who might be here, which had me rather scared. But I think I can make this work. It's a pleasure to meet you, Master. After taking care of Giselle, I returned to my room. I was, to be quite honest, dumbfounded. And it was naturally the witch who stoked the fire of my apprehension. Why would you let that woman stay here? She came from the Bollinger estate, and we both know how you feel about your family. Chase her out. Give her a little scare, and she'll be gone within the day. If you'd rather not, I could always frighten her in your place. A rattling window here, a couple of broken glasses there. Small things like that to accentuate the eerie atmosphere. Are you gonna say anything? Why do you care about her at all? Oh, now, don't be like that. I live here too, so why shouldn't I care? And I am not fond of noisy people, or sprightly women like that one. That's something we can both agree on, isn't it? You don't like that woman, do you? The more a person smiles, the less you can trust them. Though I hardly have to tell you that, do I? Stop talking. Now, that's not very polite. This is This is a family matter. It's none of your concern. I was merely offering to help rid you of a pest. I don't need your help. I'll get rid of that woman when I'm ready. But first, I will find out what secret she's keeping. Then, I'll go back to living in peace. Very well then. That pest has no place in your sweet solitude. The world before you now is much kinder, so much warmer than the one you used to know. Well, good luck then. And if you need a helping hand, don't hesitate to ask. Oh, and by the way, what now? You've changed, my dear. And I like you so much better like this. I always hated how much you reeked of human. You were blessed with a body like unto God. You were personally created by His hands. I could only dream of having what you have, but you only wanted to deny it. Now, though, you act the part much better. A saint, resurrected by the closest living thing to God. Perhaps this too could be considered a miracle. Morgana. Yes? You are a deranged, delusional woman. Why, thank you. Giselle was a woman who smiled a great deal. Wow, this is the first time I actually saw color in her face and body. Like, I'm so used to seeing her pale. I know it might just be the light of the candle, but it really shines some color in her. Her jade eyes seemed to glimmer every time she made a new face. And the more she smiled, the more vibrantly she spoke, the more suspicious I became. I couldn't trust someone who smiled that much, especially not a woman. And the way she kept trying to get friendly with me didn't help that impression at all. I had a hard time believing she honestly wanted to get to know me. I couldn't help but think she was trying to fish for information. Anyone who tried to get close to me had to have some ulterior motive, like Amy, who had only done so to satisfy Mother. Perhaps my mistrust could have been considered paranoia, but even 10 years later, flashes of that nightmare would still come back to me from time to time. It would take more than a few attempts at being nice for me to trust this stranger. Eventually, I came to the realization that she was hiding something, and I convinced myself it was out of guilt. So I wrote Mother in search of something I could use to tear her down, to get her out of here. I should have listened to Giselle rather than Mother or the witch. But I had conflated her with Amy in my mind, so I was unable to see where the truth really lay. I was only able to perceive her as malicious. So instead of her, I put my faith in Mother's words, despite Mother never once doing the same for me. My beloved daughter, Michelle. I deeply regret having to put you in this situation. I never wanted to let that woman get anywhere near you. She is a witch. A terrible, sinful witch. A dreadful, tainted woman. She lay with my husband. With your father. She's a lowly merchant girl who wormed her way into our family. So she could exploit your father for money. She committed a grievous sin. The sin of adultery. I tried to have her executed. But your father wouldn't allow it. So instead, he had her banished to atone for his sins, unaware that you already lived there. And I could not tell him either, for that is mine and your brother's secret. I pray you can find it in your heart to forgive your mother for her failings. Forgive me for delivering a witch to you. I would not be surprised if she tried snooping around. She is a rootless fiend who will do anything for money. Should word of your curse happen to spread, it would surely draw unwanted attention from the church. We have no allies except each other. Michelle, with this letter, I have included a knife. The blade has been blessed with holy water, which should allow it to eradicate the corrupt, evil soul of the witch. I ask of you, with all my heart, to send that awful creature back to hell. Wow. It was storming that night. Erratic claps of thunder ripping through the sky. Giselle let out a panicked scream, shoving me back. And the look in her eyes kicked into motion. Emotions I had thought I'd lost. I knew that face. I knew that scream. Because that face had once been mine. I had screamed with that same utter despair at the world. Back to the way things were. Yes, finally. It's quiet again. I'm honestly surprised she stayed as long as she did. In a way, her tenacity is rather impressive. Not many would persist for so long in the face of such obvious disinterest. But no one would try to get friendly with you without good reason. Information about you carries considerable weight outside these walls. But the look on her face then, was that really her just putting on an act because it revealed her scheming? If you think she was afraid of you, you're mistaken. That's how people behave when their sins are brought to light. She was screaming though, and she looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. You're not gonna let a woman's screams cloud your judgment, are you? A woman can make a weapon out of anything. Tears, a smile, fear. The day she arrived, you recognized her smile as fake. So surely you aren't gonna fall for this. I am not falling for anything. I feel like I know that frenzied panic. Something doesn't add up. Just nothing, my dear. In fact, what perplexes me is why you didn't simply kill her when you had the chance. Are you afraid of the sight of blood? The blood of your tormentors has no more worth than that of a wild boar? You should have sliced her throat without a second thought. Although, I suppose that would have made quite the mess. Now that makes more sense. You were not afraid of hurting her, you merely didn't want a burden of having to clean up afterward. How very like you. Be quiet. Oh, come now. That woman's finally gone and it's back to just the two of us, and you don't want to talk? Silence, please. As you wish. I will celebrate your accomplishment in silence, my dearest friend. I imagine she's out there, half buried in the cold earth by now. I get chills every time I consider where I would be if I had done as Mother said. If I had killed you. Or if, out there in the forest, you had succumbed to the unforgiving weather. Life had never given me much in the way of good fortune, but you coming back, you being alive, was absolutely a blessing. I'm done. I can't take it. I'm through with this whole world. Okay, I read that last part wrong. I'm done. I thought it was more cheerful. You don't have any idea what I went through there. How hard it was to keep myself together. Giselle, I do understand. I know very well how difficult, how painful it can be. For no one to believe you. For no one to accept you. I know far too well what it's like to want to scream. That you're done with this whole damn world. I truly do. That day, for the first time, we saw past the surface. We got to know each other as people. It was nothing more than a single small step. But for us, it was like we had moved a mountain. I still remember how the light felt. As it shone through the windows we opened together. It didn't burn. And while this might sound melodramatic, I feel safe in saying it was probably the gentlest light that I had ever felt in my life. Following my reconciliation with Giselle, I started turning back into my old self. Well, I suppose that's not quite correct. I felt a comfort and peace with myself that I never had before. That may have been the first time I was really human. Having someone else around began to feel normal. It was something I wasn't certain I would never have. It was incredible. Though to someone else, our time together may have seemed frivolous and empty, our conversations meaningless chatter. I never thought the day would come when someone would laugh at something I said, when someone would smile at the sight of me. However trivial, seeing Giselle smile made me happy. Oh darn it, where'd you get off to? Are you here? Are you in the vase? What's all that racket? Is something the matter? Ah, Master! Yes, a cat. Huh? A cat? A naughty little cat's been sneaking into the cellar these past few days, so I'm trying to catch him. If you happen to come across him, don't let him get away. Right. And what will you do once you've caught him? Well, I don't want to punish him. That would be mean. If he insists on coming back, I think I'll take him in and teach him how to be a house cat. You mean to keep him? Are you not fond of cats, Master? I don't mind them, no. Then there you have it. I hope he doesn't take too long to warm up to us. Maybe it'll help if you give him a name. Ooh, a name. That's a great idea. What should we call him then? You decide, master. Oh, he's not good with names. You want me to pick a name? This is your house after all, so it's only right you would be the one to choose. I'm not sure I follow that reasoning. What does the cat look like? Well, he's wild, so he's dirty, I guess. And he's kind of got some spots here and there. Is he ugly? I'd say so, yeah. Alright then. Ugly Speckles Mark II. Why am I not surprised? That's a name? Why on earth would you want to call something that? And what's Mark II even mean? Be quiet. Alright guys, I'm gonna have to end the video here for today. Thank you all for watching. I gotta say guys, like, these last couple of minutes, like these, maybe I'd say 6-7 minutes, have been a blessing because we had to endure emotional torment for Mikkel over here. And this little light of Giselle that we're experiencing right now is a blessing. I'm so glad we have it again. So if anything guys, we're gonna continue on in the next one. So thank you all for watching.